So what does it actually cost to live in Buffalo, right? I'm about to give you guys a full breakdown from apartments to housing and some day-to-day activities, weekends, if you guys plan on going out to eat, all that good stuff, right? But the first thing we're going to start with is going to be apartment, right? Let's say we're paying 1750, right, per month. Now, my average gas is not anything crazy. My average gas bill is only 776 a year, or roughly $64 a month, right? For gas. That's gas. Electric is going to be a little bit less, nothing crazy. It's going to be 701 a year and a roughly $59 a month. Now, this is for a 1,200 square foot apartment, so it's a decent sized apartment, right? Wi-Fi, you're going to be looking around $99 a month, right? And that's for Verizon. Verizon is fiber optics. That's the best Wi-Fi that you can get over here. If you go Spectrum, Spectrum is roughly the same. I just don't like Spectrum. I hate it, right? In this apartment that we have right now, it's Spectrum and I hate it. It's just slow as heck, man, and they upcharge you, right? I don't like cable. I like the fiber optic. I don't even watch TV. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really paying for cable that I don't even watch. But either way it goes, Spectrum sucks to me. That's gonna bring you to a total of around, what is that? 1972, right? Total 1972, which is not bad, and that's just for your monthly. And then also, if you guys have a car payment, that's gonna bump up a little bit to, what is that, 2472, if you guys have a $500 car payment. So in total, for your basic necessities, you guys are looking around 2472. And again, depending on what kind of car you drive, depending on your necessities and your basic living, that's gonna all adjust based on you guys, right? Now, the average rental in Buffalo is only going to be around 1,300, and that's going to be inside the city. Inside the actual city of Buffalo, you can definitely find rentals way cheaper than 1,800. A two-bedroom on average is going to be around 1,300. So it is a difference, right? The only thing about rentals in a Buffalo area, right? You get generally an older apartment is going to either be an upper or lower, right? So you talk about 1940s, 1930s, in some cases 50s, and depending on who the owner is or who that landlord is going to be, it's going to depend on your upgrades. A lot of the times you get those old hardwood floors. Some landlords are good, right? It's going to depend on your landlord. Again, this is going to be subjective on apartment. Some landlords are good. They'll come in and renovate the entire thing. Some are not so good, so they're not going to renovate the entire thing, especially if you guys are in like that Elmwood Village area, that North Buffalo area. They keep that character on purpose, so you're going to get that older apartment. If you guys want something new, you're going to be either in the Amherst, those Lancasters, the Depews, where they're building some of those new apartments. So that is something to keep you guys in consider. The next thing is, there's a very good chance, especially inside the city, that you're going to be sharing your driveway, right? You're going to be sharing your driveway, or you're not going to get any driving at all. So you're going to have that off-street parking. If you guys got a really nice vehicle and you're living inside the city, you're going to have to park that thing on the street. And we all know those Buffalo streets, especially during the winter time, is not always the best, especially when it comes to the plows, right? They plowing that vehicle in. So if you got a Mercedes, it's plowed in. Ain't no off-street parking. So if you guys are looking for apartments inside the Buffalo area, make sure you guys are looking for ones that possibly have a driveway. It's going to be tough, but in some cases it's possible, or you're gonna pay more than that 1,300, right? The average mortgage payment, in all honesty, let's call it $5,000 in taxes, $1,000 in home insurance, and then we all know interest rates right now are high, so let's call it 6.5% for a medium price target of 260. You're going to be looking at $2,164 a month for your mortgage, right? That's the median. Now, the average right now in the city is honestly 327, or Erie County, I should say, not just the city. That's the entire Erie County, guys, right? So that's all the suburbs and the city included. Again, you can find it. The median is 260. The average is 327, right? And that's going to bring you to a 2592. So when you can say, is it better to rent or own? It's gonna depend on your budget if you guys got a spouse or not, if you guys are able to save for that down payment, and then all the variables that people like to nitpick at, if this is better than this when it comes to renting and buying. To me, again, I've been in this game for a long time, especially helping people, just renting and owning myself, that's subjective, man. And I'll give you my personal thing on this, right? It's subjective because if you don't like dealing with neighbors, you don't be want to hear nobody vacuum at 4 a.m. in the morning or 2 a.m. or wash clothes, or you got loud neighbors next door or below you or above you. If you want to come home to your own, like personally me, I like to have my own. I want my own house. I want my own privacy. If I want to come home and yell and I figure, and disturb any of my neighbors, I want to be able to do that. If you guys want your own, I would suggest owning a house. If you guys don't mind, let's say you guys are on a grab and go, or you guys are always on vacation, or you guys travel a lot for work, or you just don't want that responsibility of owning a home, then rent is nothing wrong with that. But to me, for that extra few $100 a month to own something rather than rent something, I'm gonna own that all day long, especially when you think long term in Buffalo. Again, 260, we are almost 100, dang near $200,000 less than the national average at 414. You know what I'm saying? We're 80 under the average, and we're about almost, what is that, oh my gosh, 160 something, 170 something under the median. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there's so many, I know my math is bad right now. It's the morning time, forgive me guys. But either way, it's subjective. And then when you guys think long-term about appreciation, in the last, okay, when I first started shooting these videos, right? When I first started shooting videos, as I said in the intro, the average price point when I first started shooting these videos, no exaggeration, was $165,000. That was the county, right? Inside the city, it was $80,000. That was 2019, 2018, guys. To see the growth in 5 to 6 years. Now, COVID played a big portion to that, but also the supply and demand plays a huge portion to that. Right now, April 2025, we have less than a month's supply of inventory in Buffalo. We're not like everybody else, guys. We're not like the Texases, the Atlantas, the New York. Like, our inventory is low right now. So is it better to rent, to buy? Depends on where you guys are coming from. Depends on what you guys' views are, man. So just weigh that. Now, how much do you need to make to live inside of Buffalo? Let's break down some things to see, where you kind of fit in that salary realm. All right, let's say we're sticking to that $1,300 for your average rent, right? Let's say food is expensive now. Inflation is a mug, boy. So food, let's say you spending $500 on food. Utilities, that's what we just talked about. Your gas, your electric, your Wi-Fi, your phone. Let's say that totals around $300. And I know this is a little light for transportation, but let's say that's 200. Let's say you're blessed and you own your car outright, and let's say it's $200 for your car transportation, you getting around just for gas, right? If those things are the case, right, you would, just for your basic necessities right here, you honestly need to be bringing in around 500, and I know this says month right here, but $575 a week just to cover your this would be total of $2,300. So you need to be bringing in around $575 per week in order to live just off basic necessities. Now, let's be smart about this, right? You're also going to want to cover future expenses. You want to have something in your savings. You probably want to invest a little bit, right? If that's the case, let's say you guys, are investing 10 to 15%. But let's just say we'll max out the Roth at $500 a month, right? And with 8% returns over 33 years, that'll put you at about $1 million in your account, right? And this is just great advice for you guys. Start investing early, guys. And this is starting at 33 years old. So if you can start before then, it's even better. But let's say $500 a month, you're maxing out that Roth IRA. You want a meal later on in life. You want to be cool at retirement, right? And these days, $1 million is not that much, but that's in a whole nother conversation. But let's say you started doing that, right? If that is the case, you want to bump that up now because that's an extra $500 a month, right? We're going to bump this 575 up to $700 at 125 a week, obviously to max that, let's put this as invest, right? Let's say you guys want to have an emergency fund, right? You got to have some money in savings. You just can't walk around living paycheck to paycheck, right? With that $2,300 and expenses, I'm sorry about that. And then you want to get to, what is that, $6,900 within a year, right? That bumps it up. That's another $575 a month, right? So that bumps it up to another $144 a week. Now you're talking about take home, you need to be making around $844, right? Now, if you want the down payment on a home, average down payment right now is around 5%. Which is not crazy. Some people put less, some people put more. If you want to save that over a 5-year period of time for a $260,000 home, that's going to be around $13,000 that you guys have to save within 5 years. That's doable. Like, that's doable. If you guys start at 30, you can own your first home at 35, which is still a very good milestone, right? Some people do it earlier, some people don't, right? That's going to bump you up to around $217 a month, or about $54 a week, which is going to bring you to a total of $898 weekly that you guys have to be bringing in every single week, which is not bad. Now, if you guys have any debt, student loans, things like that, obviously, you're going to have to tweak this a little bit. Maybe you don't start your retirement account that early. Maybe, you adjust some things, right? But if you're talking about regular expenses at $2,300 a month, that's $575. If you want to invest a little bit, that's going to bump you up to $700. If you guys want some emergency fund, or had that 3 to 6 month emergency fund, $844. And then if you guys want to save for that down payment over the course of 5 years, you're talking about $898, right? A week that you guys need to bring in, or around $900, right? Which is around $3,600 every single month, right? Take home, right? So if that is the case, you really want to be comfortable inside of comfort for Buffalo, right? And I just broke this down right here again. But if you guys want to be comfortable, and all honesty, you're probably looking at a salary of around 47 to about 50K a year, right? Comfortable in Buffalo. Comfortable. Now that could be between you and a spouse. Now, y'all have to share everything. That $1,000,000 now gets split in two, and 500 and 500, but it's doable. Like, you know what I'm saying? $47,000 a year. That's doable to find in Buffalo for that kind of job. And the crazy part is, the median income inside of Buffalo is only $48,000, right? Or that $924,000 weekly. So, I mean, if you keep your expenses at this, right? The beautiful thing about this kind of area of salary is that even with your down payment when it comes to a house, most required banks to get some grant money or down payment assistance, you have to make less than $67,000. I have plenty of clients, $7,500. 2 of them just got $30,000 towards their down payment. As long as you make under that $67,000 mark, plus you're planning on staying there or living there for about 5 years, you can really apply and be able to get grant money for your down payment assistance with those minimum requirements, right? Obviously, you have to have the decent credit score, probably like a 600, 620 credit score, if not a little bit higher. But with the banks we work with, it's possible. So knowing that if you guys are relocating here, and you have the opportunity to keep your salary coming from your cushy tech job, wherever you come from, especially for a lot of my digital nomads out there, a lot of you guys that are in the tech space and remote workers, if you guys can keep that, if you're 100% remote and you can keep that $80,000, $90,000 salary job and move to Buffalo, and your job allows you to do that, you guys are going to be in a great position when it comes to the affordability end of Buffalo, which is a great thing. Even look at how low we are, below we are the national average. The household, and this is household, guys. This is household for Buffalo. Compared to the national average of $80,000, down here we're 40% below. So I mean, that's crazy numbers. I mean, the flip side of that, if you do try to find a job here in Buffalo, you're not going to get paid as high just because our cost of living is so low, right? So, that's what I'm saying. If you guys can keep your job with the emphasis on that, you guys will be in a much, 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 much needed position here. I remember, no exaggeration, not even that long ago, maybe 7, 8 years ago, when me and Tay first started dating. Me and Tay used to be able to go on a date, and I'm spending maybe $40, $50, right? And I'm talking, that's with drinks. With drinks. I'm spending maybe 40, $50. Today, I can't remember where we just went. Giancarlo's. Now, Giancarlo's is a very nice restaurant, right? It was a friend's birthday. Giancarlo's. We going out. I'm thinking, $50 a plate, right? It's a nice restaurant, so $50 a plate, $100, a couple of drinks. When I received my bill back, and I'm never one to trip on money. When I received my bill back, no exaggeration, it was $189, and I'm a tipper. Like I always tip, right? I just believe in that. I spent $230 for two of us for Giancarlo's. Going out now, no, if I can cook it at home, I'm cooking at home. And it's not because of the money per se. It's by the time I bought two $20 drinks, I could have bought the bottle of Patron. It's crazy now. And I know, and the crazy, when I go to Charlotte or I go, Vegas or Atlanta, they spend $300 like it's nothing. Plus, our parking is not even that bad. Our parking just went up to $8 overnight. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you go downtown 5 o'clock, you get to 12 hours, it's $8, right? That ain't bad compared to some other states. If it's a special event, then yeah, you're gonna pay around $30. But for the most part, you can still find parking downtown for $8, $9. Man, listen. Parking used to be $5, no exaggeration, 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Now, you saying, Devontae, it went up $1 in some cases per year. If you go down there during a Bills, a Sabres game, any type of event or something that they got at KeyBank, easy. You just turn that 8 into 30. I'm telling you guys. So in some cases going out, you're easily looking at $200 now. Before it was $50. And that's not every bar. If you go to like Hardware or one of your neighborhood bars, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more affordable. But even wings now, used to be able to get a 10 piece for $11, $12. Now, people are charging $20 for an 8 piece, and you don't even get the 10 no more. You used to get the jumbo wings. Oh my gosh, guys, I could go on this for a while, but cost of living, I'm saying all this to say, cost of living has went up in the Buffalo area, man. And there's something to make note of. Still, if you make that $47,000 to $50,000 a year salary, you can be okay here. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can be okay. The crazy part is that was the household income. Most single people in Buffalo make $32,000 a year. That's why Buffalo's poverty level is so high, because you need about 47 to 50. Most people only make around 32,000, and that was based on last year's census. So if you guys are coming here, you can make waves here. You can live pretty comfortable here. I've been blessed to make a lot of money. Like I've been blessed to make good money, very, very good money here. But for some people, my heart goes out to them because things are climbing. And for us not to have such a big, overwhelming, popular city, sometimes that hurts those who's making that $32,000, $35,000 a year. But that, I really just wanted to shoot that just to give you guys an overall synopsis. Sorry if my numbers are funny, man. It's the morning. Overall, though, I mean, even with, like I said, investing, having that emergency fund, saving up for a down payment, and your basic necessities on living, you still need around $900 to about $925 take home per week in order to live pretty comfortable here. All right, guys. So as always, I will see you guys inside the next one. If you guys are moving up to the Buffalo area, or you're already in the Buffalo area looking to move around, make sure you give your boy a call, text, or email. You know, I always respond. If you need anything, reach out to me. Talk to you soon.